So, I want to do something a bit weird with this one. I'd like to tell you a brief story of the anime Idion, one of the main inspirations for Evangelion. Better yet, the story of 2.5 characters in Idion, and compare its conclusion to the ending of 3+1, to see just what went wrong in the transition between the work of Yoshiyuki Tomino and Anma's. To put it simply, Idion is the story of a group of humans who find and awaken an ancient mecha, and then proceed to spend the rest of the story more or less escaping from, or fighting with, a humanoid alien civilization that wants to gain possession of it. We have 4 leads, 2 adults, male and female, who are not relevant to this video, and 2 kids, a boy and a girl, Cosmo and Kasha. They are the children who awake the Ide and pilot it. Let's think of them as the Asuka and Shinji of Idion. Their relationship is complicated. They are both very similar, care about each other, but also struggle to get along, like really struggle. They are both brash, assertive, stubborn. Oh, and did I say that they don't get along? Because they really don't. At a certain point in the story, Cosmo meets another girl. Her name is Kitty Kitten. Kitty Kitten, you know, like a cat, like a certain someone in the rebuild. So for the sake of equivalence, let's say that Kitty is the Mari of our story. She's a gentle, loving girl who acts as a surrogate mother to a group of orphans. Kitty and Cosmo immediately hit it off. They get along very well, and they quickly become affectionate to one another, maybe even a couple. Shortly after her introduction, her head gets blown off. Goodbye, Kitty Kitten. Or more like, see you later. Fast forward to the ending. Every human and alien dies, including Cosmo and Kasha, but they are quickly brought back to life as space ghosts. This is where Kitty also comes back, and we follow her as she flies towards Cosmo and Kasha, only to find out that Cosmo is apparently in a coma. Think Sleeping Beauty. As it turns out, Kasha has tried to kiss Cosmo awake, but to no avail. So it is now Kitty's turn to do it. After she kisses him, he wakes up. But let's rewind the story a bit. Shortly before the final battle, you know, the one that leads to everybody's death, Kasha and Cosmo had shared a very rare, sincere and affectionate moment. She asked him to kiss her. He tried to do just that, but failed to reach her lips, as they both were wearing space helmets. Instead of simply taking them off and trying again, Kasha and Cosmo make a promise to one another. These 2 people, who care about each other, but also constantly butt heads, promise, while finishing each other's sentence no less, that once the battle is over, they will make the effort to be kinder. This promise is their act of love. It is the real kiss. Here's the thing. Idion at heart is a series about human connections, but the difficulties that arise from trying to understand each other. Difficulties that in this story lead to the annihilation of both mankind and alien kind. Reminds you of something? But it isn't a cynical story. Its ending is the gentle acceptance of those very differences, and the hope that in the future they will not lead to the same outcome. Humans and aliens are brought back to life, joined together, and given a chance for a new beginning. But let's head back to our final trio. Cosmo, now awake, Kasha and Kitty, Shinji, Asuka, and Mari. At this point, Tomino needed to make a choice. He needed to choose somebody that could embody the human heart of Idion, somebody to symbolize the themes of human bonds and the message of acceptance. Now, of course, he couldn't simply choose a solitary character, as that represents the very opposite of a human connection. He had to choose a duo, a couple. Cosmo and Kitty, Shinji and Mari, and their kiss. Or Cosmo and Kasha, Shinji and Asuka, and their promise. Now, you have to know that Tomino is a guy with a planetary-sized mommy complex. He is fixated with writing female characters in the roles of mothers, surrogate mothers, no matter the age. His ideal partner is somebody who can embody the qualities of both a lover and a mother. Kitty is that ideal partner. But you see, Kitty is an idealization, an escape, wish fulfillment. A girl that falls from the sky and magically makes your life better. Tomino understood that, and he also understood that to effectively represent the human condition through a couple, both people need to be equal, similarly flawed, embodying both the hate and the love, willing to put in the effort to work out their differences and come together. Tomino set aside his preferences and chose what was right for the story. Cosmo and Kasia, their promise as their bond. Kitty, Mari, flies away. Cosmo and Kasia, Shinji and Asuka, fly off towards a new beginning, holding each other's hand. At this point, it is insignificant whether the relationship is romantic or not. The only thing that matters is that they are together. In IOI, Anno repeats this message through Soryu and Shinji, albeit in a much more cynical way. Soryu's selfishness and self-deception, combined with Shinji's shyness, denseness, and general passivity, prevent them from replicating Cosmo and Kasia's progress. But instead of improving on this, in the rebuild, Anno gives up on the two children completely. We are brought back to the same scene. Shinji, Asuka, and Mari together on the beach, like Cosmo, Kasia, and Kitty. Just like in Idion, one of them is asleep and wakes up. Unlike in Idion, though, it is Kasia, Asuka, that gets removed from the scene. Mari and Shinji, Kitty and Cosmo are who is left. In the rebuild, Anno has chosen a fantastical escape and wish fulfillment as the conclusion of the story. The girl who falls from the sky to make Shinji happy. The human core of Evangelion, made up of Shinji and Asuka, was ripped in half. The part that got thrown away, Asuka, replaced by a mechanical heart, which replicates with greater efficiency all of the necessary functions. Mari is that mechanical heart, a human replica, Asuka's doppelganger. She lives and enjoys all of the visual imagery and the thematic relevance that previously belonged to Soryu, except with newfound positivity. From winning a wrong fight against mass-produced Evas, while feeding off of them, instead of, being fed to them like Asuka, to enjoying a genuinely positive, uplifting beach sequence, a positive station scene, with shots ripped right out of Asuka's own station scene in the ending of the manga, and finally being the person to hold Shinji's hand, heading towards a happy future. But Mari is not human. She is not Asuka. She isn't anyone. She is Shinji running away.